period, even 7,000, 10,000 years back, they were well protected, their rights were well preserved, and they had a freedom of moving everywhere. In fact, one step above to the cisgender people, they were enjoying all the rights. How? You know very well that this community is a Rama blessed community. During the Ramayana, you know very well this Rama blessed this community of blessing the public. Let it be a childbirth or the newly married, any marriage. They are the people who are invited first. So even today in the North India, sporadically these incidents are happening. The transgender people will be invited and they will be requested to grace the occasion, bless the newborn child, bless the newly married couple, like that. So this route, you know very well that it began from Ramayana period. Even during the Mahabharata, many, the famous transgender who sacrificed their life for the maintenance of justice, social justice. That is the reason behind, the Pandavas team, they got victory. So this is a well-known fact. Everywhere you could listen. So dear friends, what we learn from all those things. So transgender samudaya, transgender community, they have been with us for quite long time, and they are part and parcel of this Indian society. But how the discrimination took place in between, why this transphobia in between, which has come up in between us, cisgender and transgender. When you look at, we allowed the foreigners to rule this Indian society, especially colonial rule in India, which made all these problems for the transgender persons, especially British ruling. They brought one particular legislation called Indian Tribes Act 1871. There is a particular column which says that transgenders are considered to be criminals. So that particular act which brought the discrimination against the transgender persons. So considering all these factors, and as per the verdict of the Mumbai High Court, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and NIS, Nations of Social Defense, started working very seriously and brought out wonderful legislation called Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act 2019 and Rules 2020. So it has 9 chapters, and each and every chapter, starting from first chapter, which is about the operational definitions, a second chapter, which prohibits the discrimination against the transgender person everywhere, including education institutions, marketplaces, employment organizations, and so many other places. So especially the education institutions, we should not discriminate them. Any such incidents found, it is a punishable under this act. That's why today's program has become a little important, especially social work institutions. The students, faculty members, HOD, and Dean of Social Science, they are supposed to understand what is written in the provisions of the TG Act. This particular provision which prohibits the discrimination against the transgender person, especially in the education institutions. We have to encourage the transgender people to join in any education institutions. When the students are deployed in any of the fieldwork agencies, there our students, faculty members, they have to sensitize the agency people on the importance of the provisions of the TG Act 2019, so that this society will get sensitized on the TG Act, and that will pave way for maintenance of the rights of the transgender person. So the transgender people, they are very committed in nature and trustworthy people. You know very well that in the olden days, these emperors and the kings, they appointed only transgender people for the purpose of spying the other countries. That means that they are the trustworthy group. And also they will go any extent to maintain the justice in the society. There are so many incidences, example I can tell now, but due to shortage of time, I'm just leaving the way to our resource person that she will explain excellent way on the provisions of the TG Act with a suitable example also. So with this, a few words, I'm requesting the students and faculty members of the Bhopal School of Social Science kindly pay attention to this particular sessions, because it is about the legislative provisions for protecting the one of the ultra vulnerable community, that is transgender community. Government brings lot of welfare measures after the legislation, but even then, schools, colleges are less sensitized. So that's why I'm requesting you. We have to pay attention to it. This session number one, social work institutions, especially students, faculty members, they have some special responsibility in sensitizing the other civil society for well implementation of this provisions of the TG Act 2019. So with this, a few words, I would like to thank my team members, Mahima Dr. Visalji. They are consultants committed to the training and research aspect of the transgender persons. And also, I would like to thank the Sweda Segalji, senior consultant, Anushkaji, Sanjayji. All they are part of this program. They are working very seriously to sensitize the different type of stakeholder, including school, colleges, universities, police, prison, panchayat functionaries, media functionaries, and community members, CPOs, on the similar topic, provisions of the Transgender Person Protection Rights Act 2019, Rules 2020. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, and I'm requesting the Mahima to introduce our great resource person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the warm welcome and your kind words. So before we move ahead, I also like to request Professor Shebaz Joseph, ma'am. She's associate professor in BSS, and she was a
Namaskar.
former HOD of the Department of Social Work and has been actively working in the field for the past like 20 to 25 years. So I would also request ma'am if she can. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mahima. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good afternoon to one and all. Respected Dr. Giriraj sir, the Deputy Director, all the officials from the National Institute of Social Defense, faculty members who are on board from different institutions, students. It is very imperative to understand the provisions of Transgender Persons Act 2019 and Rules 2020, because as sir already mentioned, to mainstream them and also to understand the intricacies of this act, every social work institution should come forward. So the initiatives taken by NISD is definitely a moment to appreciate. So I would like to thank sir, especially because you have taken BSS as a part of this training program. And recently, with your permission, we have conducted 2 days training program in a very successful way. So we are thankful to that also. And at the same time for this training program also, so that we can reach out to lot many students who are from different corners of India. And I believe that the terms that you have used, ultra vulnerable, right from that term, the students should get the details and a clear understanding about what does all this term indicate. Because you're going to work as a professional social worker in the coming time. And if you are interested to work with the transgender persons, you should understand this act in and out. Then only you will be able to work effectively as a social worker. So in line with that, we have a very eminent resource person, as Ms. Mahima has already introduced, Ms. Abina Ahir. I'm very glad to have you on board, ma'am. In absentia of my HOD, Dr. Ritvik Gandhi, on behalf of the Bhopal School of Social Sciences and all the faculty members, I would like to welcome each one of you to this one-day online training program on the provisions of Transgender Persons Act 2019 and Rules 2020. So once again, a very warm welcome to one and all. And I wish a very happy learning and very fruitful experience during this session. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words and like for putting forward your ideas and opinion. Like it means a lot, really. So we'll move ahead for the session, and for the session we have with us Ms. Abina Ahir. Ma'am, she is the National Council member of the National Council of Transgender Persons. She's also the CEO of Tweet Foundation, an organization working for the welfare of transgender persons. And Abina ji itself, she's working for the community from the past many such year, over a decade, I must say, and she has been continuously associated with NISG and helping us in organizing such amazing programs with the students and the other groups like Panchayati Raj, as sir mentioned, and other welfare for this welfare purposes. So now I would like to request Abhina ma'am, like to just and before that, I would also like to request you all that if you have your mobile phones with you, so you can also switch on your camera so we can also see you guys, because yeah. So we will drop our email ID and helpline number in the chat box also, so you can connect with us. So Abhinaji, I think we can move ahead and yeah, start with you. Again, very welcome from NIST.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Giriraj sir, a very well-respected authority who has led the trans movement in India and guided a lot of transgender people towards the light. I really respect and appreciate sir's presence here, and also the continuous guidance and support from the NISD and Ministry of Social Justice to ensure that trans people are not invisible anymore. They're part of a society and they've been getting accepted more and more every day. So we really appreciate that support from you. Of course, Mahimaji, you, Dr. Vishal, Ranmeet, everybody in NIST has been a huge support. And I also would like to congratulate the Bhopal University, Shiva Madam and other people who has joined today and discussing about this. A very important issue because transgender people are very well misunderstood. They are not been given information, to understand. And many of the transgender people have been treated either as a mystery or a ghost. People fear about them, or either people feel sad and people feel that they don't have they are weird people. They're not natural people, or they're not somebody who you can accept in a society. So today's lecture, today's discussion is gonna have a lot of discussions around who the transgender people are, what does the religion talks about the transgender people, what is the history of transgender people in countries like India, what are the terminologies of transgender people, how do you identify transgender people, what does the law says about the transgender people. All those issues we are going to highlight. It's very interesting discussions, and maybe there are so many points that we will arrive with you while discussing this, where we'll agree to disagree. But whatever we are trying to present to you, it is very scientific and it has a lot of base to the research and information and data that we have with us and available. My name is Abhina. I'm a transgender leader of India. I've been working in a sector for last 30 years. I'm a software engineer by profession. And I've been working with a lot of communities for a longest period of time. Pinky. Today's presentation, we are going to have you about helping you to understand about the transgender community. I'm going to share the presentation. I'm just shutting down my video to save my bandwidth. So pardon me if my video is not visible to you, but I'm going to show you a presentation. Can you guys see the presentation? Is it putting to your screen or is it getting spread?
Yes, it's visible.
It's visible.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It's visible, right? Okay. So, hello? It's visible, right, Mahimaji?
Yes, yes, it's visible and you're audible also. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So basically, I belong to this organization called as Street Foundation, Transgender Welfare Equity and Empowerment Trust. We are a national trans organization, and we have been doing a lot of work specifically on ensuring welfare, equity, and empowerment. And we are a very youth-focused organization. We focus on youth, transgender people, and we work around issues which are impacting to the transgender community across India. Our mission.
अभिनव जी, थोड़ा सा जो स्क्रीन है ना वो कट रही है आपका पीपीटी
Okay,
थोड़ा सा.
screen cut rahi hai.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Now it's all right. Yes.
Now it's all right.
Just
So I
zoom in.
just wanted to know if you can hear the voice of this. Can you see? Can you hear?
No.
You can't hear. Just give me
Yes.
1 second. Okay, just give me 1 second. वो ना
Okay.
video play. Hello, can you
Yes,
voice?
we can hear the voice.
Hear the voice? Okay, great, fantastic. Good, good. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just gonna start. Uh, okay. Uh, Thank you, Pinky. So our mission is to basically build and empower self-sufficient, vibrant transgender movement. We are focused on youth because what we are trying to do is that we are trying to protect the transgender youth from beggary or sex work or traditional businesses like Basti Badhai. We want to create a new trans community, transgender people who are included in the society. They live with dignity. They have all the civil rights, and they live like any other person in the society. We work on four major pillars. One of them is shelter home. We have shelter homes across India, mainly in Delhi and Mumbai. And we have very much work in major states, either directly or either with our allied partners. Within the shelter home, many times we get transgender people who are in a very difficult condition. They have not eaten for 3 days, 4 days. They've been thrown out from their families. They have become part of the gender-based violence and they need urgent support. And our shelter homes offer them those kind of services. Each shelter home, uh, take care of at least 20 to 25 people. And this is under the Garimagra scheme, which is started under the SMILE scheme run by NISD, National Institute of Social Defense, and Ministry of Social Justice. We also do a lot of work on skilling and leadership because transgender people are trapped into vicious circle of poverty. 65% of transgender people many times get dropped out before completing the 10th standard, and they can become very very difficult in the situation for them to get the jobs and to live the life with dignity. And what we do is that we bring them back to the scholarship with the education. We provide them skillings, internship programs, leadership development programs, and help them to stand on their own feet with the help of financial stability. We also have health programs where we look into TB, HIV, malaria, all sorts of health diseases which is impacting to the transgender, especially young transgender people and older transgender people, and provide them health and increase their health-seeking behavior. Many times, a lot of transgender people die on roads and they don't even have a dignified cremation or burial systems where we have to, chip in and we need to take care of them and we need to, kind of give them last rites, dignified last rites as well, because their families don't accept the dead body of those individuals as well. And we do a lot of work on advocacy awareness and stakeholders, especially with the CSR, corporates, educational institute, law enforcement agencies, and other things also. These are some of the glimpses of how transgender people in today's world coming up with a lot of educational and skilling support, and they are becoming part of the society. They're not anymore hidden, and they are becoming slowly part of societal norms. We do organize a lot of flagship events. You can see Dr. Giriraj there standing in one of the pictures. This is, and also our Honorable Minister, Dr. Virendra Kumar sir, who was part of the Transgender Employment Mela. Every year we employ more than 200 transgender people in the CSR and corporates, and sensitize more than 100 companies to get them employed. We are providing a lot of other services, as I mentioned to you, which talks in these pictures at length. So many times, when we talk about the transgender people, what we need to understand is that how people perceive these individuals as a transgender people. And when we talk about that, we realize that transgender people are always shown in a society in a very negative manner. So you see Bollywood industry or film industry many times, put the transgender people as villains or bad people. And that's why lot of young people, lot of parents are uncomfortable discussing about them. They feel transgender people are nuisance, they clap, they raise their saris, they create nuisance for us. And as a result of that, lot of time transgender people are misunderstood, and they are rejected from various platforms, including education in life. What we need to understand that gender has been always a relative term. It has always evolved. And what we used to do in a gender roles previously, we don't continue that now. For example, previously men used to wear skirts, they used to wear leggings. Now women wear skirts and women wear leggings. Previously, men used to dress up as kings and queens, and they used to wear lots and lots of jewelry. And men used to feel it was their pride possession to wear jewelry. And now, if man starts wearing jewelry, people will laugh at them. And now women feel that they should be wearing jewelry, and men should not be wearing jewelry. So the gender norms have changed over the period of time. Previously, when we talk about before invasion in countries like India, previously our bodies were worshipped. They were considered as our temple for our souls. And as a result of them, there were no such shame about our body parts or our body exhibition. We used to wrap around 3-4 meters of clothes on our body. We never used to wear blouses and all those kind of things. But over the period of time, when Britishers came, they brought their own understanding, and they thought that we are uncivilized, and they forced us to make the complete clothes that was considered to be civilized at that point of time, and that's what has been continued. Now, many times, lot of gender rules which are undefined but followed blindly. For example, cooking. Now, when we talk about cooking, it's always considered as a job of a woman. So, like for example, lot of teachers are attending my program right now, and when they go home, irrespective of whether they are a sole breadwinner or they are working for 8 hours, 9 hours, they are bound to go home and they have to cook for their children, for their husband, for their in-laws, because that is the unsaid duty about it. If there's a child, then it is assumed that a woman out of a relationship has to take care of the child because she's producing the milk. But we don't know that because, when we talk about the gender roles, a lot of men are fantastic chefs, and the top 10 chefs of India are all men. They're not women. So men can cook, but it's just that because we are trapped into the unsaid rules of, gender roles, we sometimes don't touch upon, and we don't consider our other sides of femininity or masculinity. And a lot of times in various societies, women are considered with less educated, or they feel that women are not good enough to have the intelligence. But we all must know that the first person who became doctor in India was a woman, not a man. Her name was Anandi, and she is the one who became a woman, and she doctor and she treated people. So many times when we are living in a society, there are a lot of confusions that take place. So we will just play this small video and help you understand what happens in a society,
छोटे
right?
शहर का एक एवरेज ऑर्डिनरी युवा
मम्मा मेरी चाय कहाँ है?
और जब तक आप ऑर्डिनरी से
मम्मा!
एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी नहीं बन जाते
सेकंड यार. हाँ दीदी.
Hi, excited?
Don't even ask.
You will have a great day. Take notes और जितनी भी opportunities आए ना, make sure you grab them. ठीक है?
मस्त दिन जाएगा. Don't worry. Easier said than done, दीदी. Listen, I've got to go. I'll call you later, okay?
अगर आगे से लेट आया ना
Oh, shit.
Oh, you're here. Well, morning, Nihal. My name is Tej, and my pronouns are they and them. वैसे इस कॉल पे कैमरा ऑन रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Ma'am. Shit, I'm sorry.
Just call me Tej. Okay? It's fine. So have you gone through the deck yet?
Yes, sir.
सॉरी तेज एक्चुअली जो भी नोट्स में चेंजेस लिखे थे आई हैव ऑलरेडी डन दोस एंड
If you need, I can email it to you.
Well, that's good. It's one thing off my plate. वैसे निहाल, कल एक internal presentation है. Do you think you'll be able to do it for me?
यस श्योर
Absolutely, I would love to.
Perfect. Okay, I gotta go. But big day tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks, Tej. दीदी, आपकी एडवाइस ले ली मैंने. कल प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहा हूँ.
ये हुई ना बात. कल presentation, परसों promotion.
दीदी यार, अब टांग मत खींचो प्लीज. एक्चुअली मेरा बॉस काफी सपोर्टिव है. थोड़ा sarcastic है and I think he's मीठा, you know.
क्या निहाल?
अरे स्कूल में बोलते थे ना, गुड़ है.
ऐसे कौन बात करता है निहाल? I thought तू बड़ा हो गया है. तू क्या बात कर रहा है यार?
अरे ऐसा क्या बोल दिया दीदी मैंने?
ऐसा क्या बोल दिया तूने? अब ये भी मैं बताऊं तुझे? Go find out for yourself. You know what? I have to go. तू अपना काम खुद कर. मैं जाती हूँ. ठीक है?
दीदी listen.
I want a sectional.
நீ போற ஆனா அம்மாவும் நானும் உன்னை ஏதாவது ஒரு வார்த்தை சொன்னமா?
I would like to thank Tej for the opportunity. They are a great boss.
All right, we have our Enthu Cutlet Nihal, जो आज का presentation करने वाला है. Nihal, do you want to share your screen?
Sure. Oh, I'm just sorry. There.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
So many times when we talk about the transgender people, we don't know how to address them, how to talk to them. And in return, we end up using words that are derogatory, that are humiliating for the transgender people. How does that impact to the transgender community? It it just hampers their morale. They don't know how to react to it. They feel shy. Sometimes some people are scared. They don't come out at all. They end up doing a forced marriage and so on and so forth. Lot of impact that happens on the transgender people. Now, to understand about the transgender people, we have to start from the basic. We really need to understand what is the difference between sex, sexuality, and gender, and why these people identify themselves as a transgender people, who these people are, where they come from, where do they go, what are they eat, what kind of feelings do they have. And we really need to understand the basic three words, which is called as sex, sexuality, and gender, which is important for us. So when we talk about sex, sexuality, gender, what we are born with is something with the sex characteristics. So when a baby is born, if that baby is born with the penis and testicles, that person is called as sex. The sex is called as male. If the baby is born with the vagina, that baby is considered to be female. But besides that, there could be 40 different conditions a baby could be born with, and those could be genital abnormality or complications that can cause because of the chromosomal combinations, either at the birth or either while they are growing up as a child during the adolescence period and before they hit the puberty. And that characteristics, when you don't identify a person clearly as a male or a female, is called as intersex. So intersex are part of the transgender community or transgender umbrella. But all the transgender people are not intersex. So how come they identify themselves as an intersex, which we really need to know? So this happened at the time of birth. But when you are growing up, when you reach to age between, say, 11 to 24, 25, you end up discussing about your sexuality exploration. The person also feels sometimes that they are trapped in a wrong body. And this feeling is not temporary, starts a big concerns about gender incongruence. And the person's mind and heart is with one gender, but their body is completely opposite gender. So like, for example, we will talk about this in the forthcoming video. Let's hear this video right now.
जेंडर की वोकैबुलरी पहले बहुत सिंपल थी, एम और एफ, मेल और फीमेल, और ये एक दूसरे से अट्रैक्टिव थे. लेकिन अब ये बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गया है. टू बिगिन विद, अल्फ़ाबेट्स बढ़ गई हैं. एम और एफ के साथ है एल, जी, बी, आई, टी, क्यू. और ये ज़रूरी नहीं कि अब ये ऐसे ही अट्रैक्टेड हों. इसके बहुत कॉम्बिनेशंस हो सकते हैं, कुछ भी फिक्स नहीं है. इसलिए शुरू से शुरू करना पड़ेगा. शुरू करते हैं एल से. एल यानी लेस्बियन. लेस्बियन मतलब जब एक औरत को एक और औरत से प्यार होता है. लेकिन क्योंकि हम ना आदमी औरत के रिश्ते को समझते हैं, तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम सोचते हैं कि लेस्बियंस में भी एक आदमी जैसे पर्सनालिटी का होगा, उसके बाल छोटे होंगे, पैंट शर्ट पहनती होगी, अग्रेसिव होगी, और उसको बुच कहा जाने लगा. और जो दूसरा पार्टनर होगा वो थोड़ी फेमिनिन होगी, साड़ी पहनती होंगी, उनके हाव भाव भी औरतों जैसे होंगे और उन्हें फेम कहा जाएगा. लेकिन एक्चुअली ये सब पुरानी थ्योरी है और किसी भी लेस्बियन कपल में किसी की भी पर्सनालिटी कैसी भी हो सकती है. मूविंग अहेड, जी यानी गे. गे मतलब जब दो आदमियों को एक दूसरे से मोहब्बत होती है, राइट. लेकिन गे का एक और यूसेज भी है. जब हम सारी समलैंगिक कम्युनिटी को रेफर करते हैं, यानी गेज, बाइसेक्सुअल्स, लेस्बियन, ऑल टुगेदर, इनको भी गे कम्युनिटी या गे पीपल कहा जाता है. अब बारी बी यानी बाइसेक्सुअल की. बाइसेक्सुअल यानी जब किसी भी शख्स को किसी भी जेंडर के व्यक्ति से प्यार करने की आज़ादी होती है. यानी एक आदमी को औरत से भी प्यार हो सकता है और एक और आदमी से भी प्यार हो सकता है. सिमिलरली एक औरत को एक आदमी से भी प्यार हो सकता है और वो एक औरत से भी अट्रैक्टेड हो सकती है. बाइसेक्सुअल यानी दोनों सेक्सेस के साथ. और अब बारी टी यानी ट्रांसजेंडर की. ट्रांसजेंडर एक्चुअली थर्ड जेंडर होता है, क्योंकि ये वो लोग हैं जो जब पैदा होते हैं तो उनको लड़का या लड़की मान लिया जाता है, लेकिन जब वो बड़े होते हैं तो वो उससे एकदम उलट, एकदम डिफरेंट महसूस करते हैं। यानी लड़का बड़े होकर सोचता है कि वो एक्चुअली में लड़की है, और जो लड़की है वो बड़े होकर सोचती है कि नहीं, वो एक्चुअली में लड़का है। ऐसे जो लोग हैं, कभी कभी तो वो सिर्फ अपने जो कपड़े हैं, जो अपना पहनावा है, उसको बदल लेते हैं ताकि वो जैसा अंदर से महसूस कर रहे हैं वैसे ही बाहर से दिखें। इन्हें क्रॉस ड्रेसर्स कहा जाता है। और इनमें से कई लोग होते हैं जिन्हें लगता है कि नहीं, उनका शरीर भी उनके मन के साथ मैच करना चाहिए, तो वो हार्मोन रिप्लेसमेंट थेरेपी या सेक्स रीअसाइनमेंट सर्जरी की मदद लेते हैं और अपने शरीर में बदलाव लाते हैं। इनको ट्रांससेक्सुअल कहा जाता है। तो ट्रांससेक्सुअल और क्रॉस ड्रेसर्स दोनों ही ट्रांसजेंडर होते हैं। लेकिन समझने की बात एक और भी है, वो ये कि ट्रांसजेंडर्स की फिर पसंद, अट्रैक्शन कैसे डिफाइन होती है। यानी कोई जब पैदा होने के वक्त लड़का माना गया, बड़े होकर उसने लड़की जैसा महसूस किया। अब वो अगर किसी लड़के से प्यार करेगा तो उसे हेट्रोसेक्सुअल ट्रांसजेंडर माना जाएगा, पर वही अगर एक लड़की से प्यार करेगा तो लेस्बियन ट्रांसजेंडर, और अगर दोनों से प्यार करेगा तो बाइसेक्सुअल ट्रांसजेंडर। अब इसी को उल्टा कीजिए, अगर कोई लड़की पैदा हुआ लेकिन बड़े होकर उसने अपने आप को लड़का माना, तो जब वो किसी लड़की से प्यार करेगा तो उसको हेट्रोसेक्सुअल ट्रांसजेंडर माना जाएगा। लड़के से प्यार करेगा तो गे ट्रांसजेंडर, और अगर दोनों से प्यार करेगा तो बाइसेक्सुअल ट्रांसजेंडर। और अब बारी आई यानी इंटरसेक्स की। इंटरसेक्स उन लोगों को कहा जाता है जो जब पैदा होते हैं तो उनके जेनिटल्स यानी उनके जननांगों से ये तय नहीं हो पाता कि वो मेल हैं या फीमेल, तो डॉक्टर ही देख के तय कर देते हैं कि इनको लड़का मान लीजिए या इनको लड़की मान लीजिए। पर जब वो शख्स बड़े होते हैं तो हो सकता है वो उससे अलग महसूस करें, या हो सकता है वो खुद को ट्रांसजेंडर भी माने। पर ये जो सारी टर्म्स हैं, ट्रांसजेंडर, ट्रांससेक्सुअल, क्रॉस ड्रेसर, ये सब वेस्टर्न टर्म्स हैं, और भारत में हम इस पूरे समुदाय को हिजड़ा नाम से ज़्यादा जानते हैं। हिजड़ा एक बहुत ही खास समुदाय का नाम है, जिनके अपने कायदे, तौर तरीके होते हैं और एक परिवार की तरह रहते हैं, एक दूसरे का ख्याल भी रखते हैं। और हिजड़ा, अरावनी, कोथी, शिवशक्ति, जोगती हिजड़ा, हमारे देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में ये इसी समुदाय के अलग अलग नाम हैं। और आखिर में बारी क्यू यानी क्वेयर की। क्वेयर यानी वो लोग जिन्हें अभी तक ये क्लियर ही नहीं है कि उनकी पहचान क्या है, वो मेल हैं, फीमेल हैं या ट्रांसजेंडर हैं। उनको तो ये भी क्लियर नहीं है कि वो किससे अट्रैक्टेड हैं, कौन उन्हें पसंद आएगा। इसलिए कभी कभी ये जो क्यू है, इसको क्वेयर के साथ साथ क्यू फॉर क्वेश्चनिंग यानी उनके मन में जो सवाल हैं उससे जोड़ के भी देखा जाता है। थक गए? मैं भी थक गई, बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन हो गई ना। अगर कुछ नहीं समझ में आया तो वापस से प्ले कीजिए और फिर जेंडर।
So, लैंगिकता और जेंडर की रूल्स, it's not just in human beings. It is there into nature as well. And what we need to understand that, do we have sexuality in nature? So let's hear this video.
दोस्तों, कभी आपने सोचा है कि क्या इंसानों की तरह जानवर भी समलैंगिक होते हैं? क्या कुत्ते, बंदर, शेर, हाथी वगैरह प्रजातियों में भी गे और लेस्बियन होते हैं? 1960 के दशक में ऑस्ट्रिया के नोबेल पुरस्कार विजेता जूलॉजिस्ट कॉनराड लॉरेंज ने 1500 प्रजातियों के जानवर पर एक शोध किया था। इसमें उन्होंने पाया कि 450 प्रजातियों के जीव समलैंगिक होते हैं। जिराफ के 10 में से 9 जोड़े गे होते हैं। वहीं चिंपैंजी की बोनोबो प्रजाति में करीब 60% सदस्य लेस्बियन होते हैं। पक्षियों में पेंगुइन, सारस आदि भी समलैंगिक व्यवहार करते हैं। मक्खी और छिपकली भी ऐसा व्यवहार करते हैं। कुछ अदर्श जानवर और कीट पतंगे भी समलैंगिक जैसा व्यवहार करते हैं।
So it's just not about sexuality, but in nature, even gender change happens, and it happens in a very systematic way, which we really need to understand.
Did you know that every clownfish you've ever seen starts life as a male but can transform into a female when needed? That's just one of the mind-bending ways animals rewrite the rules of gender in the wild. Welcome to Fast Animal Facts. Today we're diving into a fascinating and often overlooked topic of gender in the animal kingdom. While humans tend to think of gender as fixed, nature loves to break the mold. From sex-swapping fish to dominant female predators, these animals challenge everything we think we know about gender roles. Stick around as we explore 10 incredible creatures that defy conventional norms, revealing just how diverse life on Earth can be. Let's start with the spotted hyena, a species where females rule the roost, literally. Female hyenas are larger, more dominant, and even have a pseudopenis, a structure that looks like a male's genitalia. This is due to high levels of testosterone during their development. The pseudopenis is used for urination, social signaling, and during mating. These females not only dominate the clan, but also have a much higher level of testosterone than males, contributing to their aggressive and dominant behavior. The dominance hierarchy is so intense that even the lowest ranking female can command more respect than the highest ranking male. These unique traits challenge traditional ideas of female and male roles in society and reproduction. Next, we have butterflies, where some species exhibit gynandromorphism, a rare condition where individuals are part male and part female. The swallowtail butterfly is a notable example, where one half of the butterfly's body may be male and the other half female. These individuals can survive in the wild, though their reproductive capabilities may vary. The cause of gynandromorphism is thought to be genetic or a developmental anomaly that occurs during cell division. While it's still a scientific mystery as to why it happens, this condition challenges the idea of fixed gender roles in nature. The bluegill sunfish is another example of how gender roles in nature aren't always black and white. These fish exhibit three types of males: parental males, sneaky males, and satellite males. Parental males are the largest and protect nests, while sneaky males try to fertilize eggs while the parental male is distracted. Satellite males mimic the parental male's appearance and behaviors to fertilize eggs while the dominant male is...
So what we have to understand that in nature also you see a various variety of sexuality and gender, just not in the human beings. You might be not knowing about it because you have not studied about this. And many times when we talk about the transgenderism, we have to go back to the oldest references that we have. Where do we have the references for transgenderism? So these references are there in Veda, Purana, holy books, and also our epics. So like for example, when we talk about Shiva Purana, there is a reference where it has been mentioned that when Shiva and Parvati got married, there were some people who identified as Kim Nara, which means neither male or female, were also part of the marriage ceremony. And Lord Shiva has given them a lot of gifts for coming to his marriage with Parvati. Lord Shiva unites with Parvati in one body, where the half body is of male and half body is of female. And this becomes a god of dance, which is called as Ardhanari Nateshwara. When we talk about Mahabharata, there is a clear-cut transition from female body to male body. And that king is called as Shikhandi. Shikhandi is basically a rebirth of a princess Ambalika. And because that Ambalika was rejected by another king called Bhishma, and to take a revenge, Ambalika decides to become a man. And she comes into the battlefield, and when she stands in front of Bhishma for a war, Bhishma says that I cannot harm you. I cannot raise, I cannot raise my bow in front of you because you are not a complete man, and I cannot fight with you. And that's how Arjuna wins. He sneaks behind Shikhandi and throws lots and lots of arrows on Bhishma and make him lie on the arrow bed. When Ram, Lakshman, and Sita comes back from Vanavasa, which means because of the promise that he has given to his father, he spends 14 years into jungle, staying as yogi. And when he comes back, he sees there are some still people standing in the banks of river Ayodhya, Sharayu, and he asks them, what are you doing here? And those people say that, dear Lord, you asked people to go back who identified as male and a female, and we are neither male or neither females, and that's why we are waiting here you to come back. And Lord Rama feels nice about it and he gives them a blessing. We also have a story of Arjuna who becomes a transgender during his exile time for 1.5 years, 18 months, and he becomes a dance teacher. So it shows a great power of transgender people, that they were part of kings and queens ruling, and they were gurus, they were teachers, they were philosophers, they were costume designers, they were makeup artists, they were visionary, and this was the status of transgender people. In fact, in Purana, there is lot of references of two men marrying. There's a references of a person who has all the characteristics of male and female also. In various culture, various religions also, the God talks about it, or talks about to support people who are oppressed. The Even if you talk about Bible, the Bible talks about dignity, justice, equality, and compassion. And it does talk about is that we have to learn to right, seek justice, and defend the oppressed. And henceforth, it is very important that we have to support, and it stresses on caring marginalized people like transgender people, vulnerable and excluded communities to be accepted in a society, to be given justice, to be given love and compassion. Quran, Islam also talks about the transgender people, and there's a word called individuals who are oppressed or show or demonstrate both the characteristics. Obiyon Jaraka is the name which has been given into the Buddhism culture, which talks about gender diversity and gender recognition. And in Lotus Sutra, it describes a dragon princess transforming into male bodhisattva, showing fluidity of gender as part of spiritual enlightenment. And also, Buddhism is based on the core principle of non-discrimination, which talks about karuna, means compassion, and ahimsa, means non-violence, and supporting inclusion and dignity for all the beings, including the marginalized population. In Jainism, you have lot of words called as Kliba, Pandaka, Napusakalingi, which talks about the transgender people elaborately. And it also talks about ahimsa, which means non-violence and equality for all the souls. Now, transgender identities has been always part of the art and culture. The concept of transgender going in Basti Badai is not considered as a begging, but it is considered as diksha, which means dan, which means a charity. Charity has the highest attainment in all the religion, including Hindu culture, Islamic culture, and Christianity as well. And Hijra people were considered to be the most worthy people for the charity. And that's why there was a culture of Basti and Badhai. Lot of transgender people before the migration happened in India from the especially Middle East countries. They were known as Kim Nara or Maya. Kim Nara means neither man or a woman, or has both the elements of a man and a woman. And Mai means mothers. They were called as mothers. And cross-dressing or gender roles and role-playing was never a taboo for that. For example, men and women both used to wear 3 yards of saris. Men used to wear it as a dhoti, and women used to wear it as a uparna or sari. In art and culture, when you talk about lot of theatrics also, when the women were not allowed to play female roles, lot of transgender people used to play a very important role into art and culture. They were artisans. And also there is a culture in Maharashtra called as Maushi, which means mother, sister, who is part of the folk theatre. Also, this is a famous portrait of Bal Gandharva. Throughout the life, He used to sing beautifully in the dramas as a woman, and also portrayed a different women strong characteristics in the theater. There's a Devadasi Parampara, which means before the invasions in India, everything was centric. All the entertainment, all the decision making, all the powers were centric around temples. So in these temples, lot of uh, people who wants to wish for some boon, they used to give away their child for the temple, who used to take care of the temple and who were married to gods. They were called as a Devadasi. Devadasi means Deva. Deva means God. Dasi means somebody who serves the god. And these servants of the gods were also considered as a transgender, Jogta, Jogappa, Mangalmukhi, Aravani, Sivasakti. All those names were given to this Devadasi Parampara related transgender. Transgender was part of the very important dance forms, including Kathakali, Manipuri, Bharatnatyam, Kathak, Lavani. All those forms have been also mastered by transgender people. Transgender people were first ostracized by the Britishers in 1861 when they first put Section 377, a Criminal Tribe Act, under which the homosexuality and transgenderism was criminalized. In 1871, they imposed one more law on transgender people called as a Tribal Act, under which transgender people were shut down from a society. They were asked to live outside the society. They were not given food, clothes, shelter, money. And imagine that from 1947 till the day 2019, transgender people lived the life of invisibility. They were not given jobs, they were not given employment, they were living in precarious conditions, they were not having housing, education, employment, and they lived in a very precarious condition. It was only in 2014, for the first time, the Supreme Court of India gave a Nalsa judgment under which it was acknowledged that we don't have two genders, but we have three genders, male, female, and third gender. For the first time, transgender people were acknowledged. And the judges of Supreme Court actually said that we must do something very, very early for transgender people, because these people are left out. They've been living 100, 200 years back in a society. They don't have human rights, civil rights. They're not accepted in a society. And they're living in a very precarious condition. It is our duty, our role to make them part of, included in society and make them part of society, because if they become part of a society, they can really, really contribute to society in a big way. They asked the government of India to do something substantial to eliminate stigma, to protect the violence, and to provide various facilities within 6 months. But at that point of time, the government was changing. It was from Congress, the BJP government came into power. So BJP government also took almost 5 years to understand this issue, and 2019, for the first time, Right to Transgender Protection Act, Transgender Bill, was introduced, and it became an act, and our President of India signed on that act, which talks about the transgender protections, transgender welfare, transgender inclusion. But it did not talk about the civil rights, which means transgender people are accepted, but can they get married? Can they adopt children? Can they inherit the property? All those decisions were not discussed during that act. But there were a lot of things that were positively discussed during the act. So what you need to understand that transgender people is not just one identity. You see transgender people begging on a signal, or people who are coming to your house for Basti Badai. They are Hijra people. But they are just 9% of the overall transgender population. The entire transgender population comprises of various identities that I'm talking about, which means it talks about transgender men, people who transition from female bodies to male bodies. It talks about transgender women like me, who transition from male bodies to female body. It talks about intersex people who have chromosomal issues at the time of birth or at the time of bringing up. Then it does talk about non-binary, gender fluid people, religion-based people, and also hijras. So these are the three conditions that you must be aware about when it comes to transgender people. Transgender people can be either transition from female bodies to male bodies, which is called as trans men. People can transition from male bodies to female bodies, which is called as transgender woman, or either a person can be born with the transgender characteristics, which is called as intersex. These are the only three conditions how you can identify transgender people. Indian census identified 483,000 transgender people across India in 2011, around almost 15 years back. And you can see, like, for example, in various states, they showed the population of transgender people. And they also found out the intersex child. So there were 65,000 intersex children were identified who were below the age group of 6 years. And there were a lot of transgender people who were found out. But statistically, it always been said that 1% of population will always be identifying as a transgender person. So if we are living in, like, for example, 1.4 billion population, at least 14 lakh transgenders are there in India. Now, the problem is that lot of transgender people are educated. There are 57% of transgender people who are literate against the national overall literacy rate. But only 6% transgender people are formally employed. So that is a major concern. There are transgender who have done education, basic education, 10th and 12th standard, but they don't have jobs because of the stigma and discrimination. There are a lot of transgender people drop out from the school. So almost 62% of transgender people drop out before completing 10th standard. So when you don't have education, you will never be able to get the jobs. You will never be able to live yourself in a society with a dignified manner. So what is important for you then in that case? You have to survive through sex work, begging, or basti badai. Almost 85 to 90% transgender people survive on begging and sex work in countries like India. Very rare, 6% of transgender only can actually reach out to the undergraduate studies, and 1% reach out to postgraduate education. The UGC report says that 1,742 transgender students enrolled for higher education institute across the India in 2022-2023. According to National Human Rights Data, NHRC, in 2018, 96% transgender people are denied for jobs due to lack of education and documentation. And only 50% of transgender people across the India has never enrolled themselves in a schooling. Only 3% of transgender people have access to the formal vocational training. 70% learn the skill informally. So right now, transgender people are living in a very difficult condition. And why do you think they are living like that? Because we the people, are not letting them be part of a society. We are not making them friends. We are not allowing them to be with their own families. And that is a major concerns that we have to talk about the transgender people. We find out that transgender person have the lowest mean years of the schooling, which means that the majority of transgender people spend 4.5 years into the educational setup. In hospitals also, like for example, imagine, just now I'm talking to you, but I end up having heart attack. Where will I get admitted? In the male's ward or female's ward? So there is a big discrimination for transgender people in hospitals. They don't have reserved beds. They don't have infrastructure to go for washrooms. Doctor sensitization is not there. There's no medical curriculum about the transgender people. There is no mention about the transgender people in the form. Some hospitals have it right now. But many times the doctors identify or see transgender people as a guinea pig. And a lot of surgeries that happen on transgender people, they happen in a very unethical manner. Transgender people's issue doesn't stop at the time of birth, but even after death, as I mentioned to you, many times when the transgender people are murdered, or they strangle themselves, or they have been killed, or they've been thrown out somewhere after their death, their families also don't accept their dead bodies. There's no ethical, there's no formal cremation for transgender people. Even in crematorium, if you have to bury a transgender person or if you have to burn a transgender person, you have to wait for a late night to do this, because many times such crematories and such last right institutions are not open to cater the transgender people in the broad daylight, and it's a harsh reality. Gender affirmative care, healthcare for transgender people, which includes hormone therapy, surgeries, counselings, are missing. There's a lot of transgender people who face mental health issue, depression, suicidal tendency, and stigma. Big times that transgender people right now are into substance abuse, which includes excess alcohol or drugs, because they cannot handle the societal rejection and HIV prevalence, which is a deadly disease in India. It's a big percent transgender people are living with HIV. Transitioning from one body to another is not an easy journey. It requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of emotional, mental, social support. It requires a lot of procedures, which includes gender change documentation, mental health counseling, hormonal injection, tablets, cosmetic surgeries, top and bottom surgeries, and it can cost lots and lots of money, and it can cost lots and lots of uh, situations. So we are talking about three types of people, which we have talked about: trans men who looks like men, and you will never be able to identify them in a general public because they transition themselves from a woman to a man. They look like a man, but many times they don't have a penis to demonstrate, because those surgeries are very complex and it is very difficult for trans men to have those surgeries. And if a trans man is not transitioned, which means that is not done a surgery, which means that a trans person is also susceptible for rape, uh, unexpected pregnancy, um, uh, but, childbirth, or any sort of unwanted situation which that person doesn't want to be. And if you are transitioning from a male to female body, you will still have complications, because your surgeries can go wrong. You can lose your feminization. You can lose your lot of money into the perspective. Lot of trans men are called as FTM, which means female transitioning to male, and lot of trans women are called as MTF, which means the male transitioning to female bodies. And both these things have lot of procedures, which include hormone therapy, surgery, and social change, and which we need to understand. A lot of transgender people are doing fantastic job in a society. There are a lot of trans men who are becoming bodybuilders. There are religious gurus. Since last 2 years, transgender people are getting Padma Shri awards. We also have doctors, pilots, policemen in transgender community. And this is a harsh situation that we are talking about today. Uh, so it's a small film that we are going to see now.
मैंने बुलिंग इग्नोर की क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहती थी कि ये मेरे फ्यूचर में कोई बाधा लाए। मेरा नाम सोनाली चौकेकर है। मैं मुंबई में बांद्रा में रहती हूँ और मैं यही पैदा हुई और यही बड़ी हुई हूँ। बचपन से ही मुझे लगता था कि मैं थोड़ी अलग हूँ। मेरी आवाज़, मेरे हाव भाव, मेरी वर्तणूक वो सब लड़की जैसी थी। मैं लड़कों के साथ कभी कंफर्टेबल नहीं थी। लड़कों के साथ में मुझे बहुत परेशानी होती थी। वो मुझे हरास करते थे, चिढ़ाते थे, तो वो सब बातें मेरे दिल पे लगती थी, तो मैं उनके साथ में खेलती ही नहीं थी। मेरे नेबर्स वगैरह मुझे सब बोलते थे कि बायला है क्या तू, चक्का है क्या। मुझे ये सब वर्ड से ना बहुत बुरा लगता था, वो सब वर्ड्स मेरे दिल को लगते थे, लेकिन तो फिर भी मैं उनको नज़रअंदाज करती थी क्योंकि मुझे रहना है यहाँ पे। मेरे स्कूल में मैं लड़कियों के साथ में ज़्यादा खेलती थी, उनके साथ में बातें करती थी। ये सब देख के मेरे टीचर्स बहुत परेशान होते थे। उनने कई बार मेरी मम्मी को भी बुलाए और मेरी शिकायत करे कि मैं ऐसे लड़कियों के साथ में खेलती हूँ, बात करती हूँ। मैंने उस वक्त ये सोची कि ये सब चीज़ों को सामना करने से अच्छा इनको नज़रअंदाज करेंगे तो वो खुद शांत हो जाएंगे। इसलिए मैं वो सब चीज़ों को नज़रअंदाज करती थी और अपने पढ़ाई पे ध्यान देती थी, क्योंकि मुझे ये पढ़ाई आगे काम आएंगी, ये मुझे बहुत अच्छे से उसी वक्त मालूम था। जब मैं 7वीं में थी, आर्थिक परिस्थिति बहुत कमजोर हो चुकी थी, तो मुझे मेरे पढ़ाई का खर्चा, घर का खर्चा
हाँ, वीडियो रुक गया है अबीना जी।
ये सब देखने के लिए मैं पेपर लाइन डालती थी। उसके बाद स्कूल जाती थी, फिर वहां से शाम को आने के बाद मैं कंपाउंडर का काम करने के लिए परिश्रमालय जाती थी। जब भी मैं पेपर लाइन जाती थी, लोग बोलते थे ये लड़का है कि लड़की है। हमारे पेपर वेंडर्स को भी उन लोग कंप्लेंट करते थे। फिर मेरे साथ में जो बाकी के पेपर लाइन डालने वाले लड़के होते थे वो मुझे छेड़ते थे, लेकिन मैं सबको नज़रअंदाज करके मैं अपने काम पे ध्यान देती थी। फिर कॉलेज गई, उसके साथ में मैंने पीयून का काम सीए के पास चालू कर दी। इस तरह मैंने 10वीं तक अपना उधर निर्वाह चलाई और अपनी स्कूल की फीस भी भरी और अपनी पढ़ाई भी पूरी करी। मेरी एक फ्रेंड थी जो हमसफर जाती थी, उसने मुझे बताई कि हमसफर में हमारे जैसे लोग आते हैं। फिर मुझे मालूम पड़ गया कि एसआरएस भी होता है। मैंने सर्जरी जब करवाई तब मैंने घर में किसी को भी कुछ भी नहीं बताई थी। सर्जरी करने खुद चली गई अपने दोस्तों के साथ में, करके लौटी तब मैंने उनको बताया कि मैंने ऐसा ऐसा करी हूँ। वो बोले कि भगवान ने दिया हुआ चीज में क्यों ये करी। तो मैंने उनको बोल दी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, मेरे शरीर जो मुझे था उसमें मैं कंफर्टेबल जरा भी नहीं थी। मेरे पेरेंट्स ने बाद में ये एक्सेप्ट करे और मैंने अपनी बिल्डिंग में भी सबको बता दी, क्योंकि ये छुपाने वाली बात नहीं थी। हम क्यों अपना जेंडर छुपाए। फिर मैंने मेरा बीकॉम कंप्लीट करी, फिर मेरा मास्टर इन कॉमर्स हो गया, फिर मैंने जीडीसीए पढ़ी और फिर सीए का आईपीसीसी पढ़ी। पोस्ट सर्जरी जब मैं सीए के पास काम करती थी, जब मैं वहाँ पे वॉशरूम यूज करने को लग गई तो मेरे वहाँ के जो मेल फ्रेंड्स थे वो मुझे अपने साथ में बाथरूम लेके जाते थे। उनको लगता था कि मैं मेल ही हूँ करके। फिर मैं अनकंफर्टेबल हो जाती थी उनके साथ में, मैं कैसे मैं जाऊँ। फिर ये बातें मैंने जाके अपने बॉस को भी बताई, तो बॉस ने कहा कि इस ऑफिस में वी हैव टू मेंटेन द डिसिप्लिन, तो उसके लिए फिर मैंने वो ऑफिस से रिजाइन दे दी। जब हमसफर में मेरे काफ़ी दोस्त हो गए थे, तो उनमें से जो मेरे बेस्ट फ्रेंड थे उन लोग ने मुझे सलमा गुरु से मिलाए। और सलमा गुरु के काम से तो मैं पहले से ही प्रभावित थी। उन्हें काफ़ी कम्युनिटी के डेवलपमेंट के लिए और उनके ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए काम किए थे। वो मेरी पढ़ाई की काफ़ी रिस्पेक्ट करते थे। वो मुझे समझ पाते थे कि मैं क्या काम करना चाहती हूँ, किस लेवल पे काम करना चाहूँगी कम्युनिटी में जाके। फिर मैं किन्नरमा ट्रस्ट में काम करना चालू कर दी। ये संस्था किन्नरों के मूलभूत अधिकार, आरोग्य सुविधा और उनके उपजीविका के लिए और उनकी उन्नति के लिए काम करती है। कम्युनिटी को मेंटल, सेक्सुअल और फिजिकल हरासमेंट काफ़ी सहन करना पड़ता है। उनके ऊपर चाकू चलते हैं, छुरी चलती है, मार चढ़ते हैं, उनको जगह नहीं मिलती रहने के लिए। पहले लोग हमें चिढ़ाते थे, हमको छेड़ते थे, हमारे साथ हरासमेंट करते थे, तो मैं उनको नज़रअंदाज करती थी। मेरी ज़िंदगी में ऐसे काफ़ी पहलू आए जिसने मुझे कठिन बनाया। अब मैं उनका सामना करना सीख गई हूँ। अब मैं उनको पलट के जवाब देती हूँ और मैं उन चीज़ों का विरोध करती हूँ। किन्नर मास टीआरटी टीम में मैं खुद मेंबर हूँ और मैं पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर भी हूँ। मेट्रोपॉलिटन मैजिस्ट्रेट कोर्ट गिरगांव कोर्ट में लोक अदालत पैनलिस्ट भी हूँ। मैं चाहती हूँ कि आगे
तो आपने देखा है कि ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी, यू हैव सीन द लॉट एंड लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रगल्स एंड फॉर्चुनेटली नाउ द ट्रांसजेंडर एक्ट इज देयर एंड ट्रांसजेंडर एक्ट टॉक्स अबाउट वेरियस थिंग्स under smile scheme. So under transgender act there's something called the smile scheme which is done for transgender people, and under which government of India has more than 25 now. Garima Grah, which is a shelter home across India, which provides shelter. Each home provides shelter for 25 people. It provides support for health, nutrition, mental health, skilling, and all sorts of services to the transgender people under the sound guidance of National Institute of Social Defense. Besides that, there was an attempt by for communities by government of India to provide some scholarship programs also. There is a transgender protection cell that is there at the district level. There's a transgender welfare board in some of the states, and also there's a National Transgender Council. So the act which has been passed by the government of India in 2019, we have to understand what does that act talks about it. How does that act protects transgender people? So as I mentioned to you, under SMILE scheme, transgender people have been provided skill development, shelter home, recognition of certificate like transgender cards, medical health, scholarship, and also transgender identity cards. This is how the transgender identity card looks like. So if you have to apply for a transgender card, then you can apply as a transgender person through 3 ways. One is that you can directly go to the district magistrate, submit your document, or fill the forms, and you can get the certificate as a transgender person under section 6. But once you do surgeries and everything, and when you want to have a binary identification as a trans man or a trans woman, then you have to reapply that, and under section 7, you will get a certificate as a trans man or a trans woman, and your transgender card will be made. What we really need to understand that when you are giving any person who is a transgender person, the law says, the act says that the transgender person identity is a self-affirmation identity. So I cannot decide for anybody else whether they are transgender or not. I have to decide for myself that whether I'm transgender or not. And if I identify myself as a transgender person, I can avail the transgender card. But if I want to avail the binary gender marker welfare services, then I have to go through a transition surgery, and I can apply under section 7 for trans man or a trans woman or intersex identity. Now, what does the law says? That you, even if you are minor, like below the age of 18 years, with consent from your parents and with consent of your guardians, you can get a transgender certificate, which is very, very important. But the law also says that, if you are not 18 years of age, then you should not be taken away from your parents. Nobody can force you into labor. So like, for example, sex work or begging, it is unethical and it is criminal, and a person who's trying to do that can actually go behind the bars of the jail. The supreme authority to issue a transgender certificate and identity is district magistrate. In each district, there's a district magistrate which has to make a decision about it. And only one person can authenticate whether your medical certificates are appropriate or not, and that is called as chief medical officer. And one thing which you have to understand, that when you are issuing a transgender certificate to the transgender person, there is no need for a physical examination. And for to get a transgender certificate, you don't have to start any hormone treatment, any surgery, any counseling is not needed. If I identify myself as a transgender, I can very well get that transgender certification. For what? For welfare services, I need to get another certificate which is after my surgery, which you have to really understand. But that document comes, then I can change my other document also. Like in case of many transgender people, they are born with a dead name. Dead name, what is dead name? Like for example, when I was born, maybe my name was Abhay, and now I'm Abhina. So Abhay is the name which was given by my parent, which is a dead name. But Abhina is the preferred name that I have taken for myself. I want to be claim myself. I want to be identified. I want to be recognized as Abhina. So I have to change all my documents, and that can only happen once I get a transgender card. I can go up to the educational level and change my educational certificates as well. Some of the transgender people have done that as well, changing their educational qualification certificate based on their transgender identity. Now, when I have to go through a surgical process, then I have to get something called the GID, that is gender incongruence certification, which means I have to go to a psychiatrist and a psychologist, go through sessions, and at the end of those sessions, multiple sessions, the psychiatrist and psychologist, which includes the cognitive psychologist, gives me a clean sheet that I am going through a gender incongruence and I need surgeries to be done from my life. And that's how the surgeries happens. Now, the government of India under Smile scheme has also started something called Ayushman TG Plus card, which means that based on the transgender card, I can also access the Ayushman health insurance scheme with the government of India. Under that scheme, I can get the free surgeries up to 5 lakh rupees into a selected hospitals, which is a very, very important aspect. NISBAD, NRHM, MSME, so many organizations of government of India are right now including transgender people as part of Startup India or Make in India, and they are helping transgender people to make self-help group, give them small loans, and also giving jobs to them into a main civil job placements. Like for example, recently Bihar has hired transgender people in police. Before that, Chhattisgarh has done that. If in Delhi you are, or if in other states, many times near metro stations, you also have a transgender urinals, transgender washrooms. And that government is doing to ensure that transgender people are included and they're part of our society. This is how the transgender identity cards looks like. So government is also doing lots and lots of work. But what is important, what you need to do, we are showing you in this small video. Please have a close look. So thank you so much for listening to me carefully. And what I want to sort of tell you that we are not asking for acceptance. What we are asking is for the due recognition of the transgender people, which they deserve in a society. We are asking you to treat them as human beings. They're asking you to make them as part of a society, make them valuable, make them dignified, and they will find their own solutions. They are much more intelligent people. They can do a lot of things by themselves. What they need is love, care, acceptance, compassion, non-violence from all of you. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have learned something different today from this session, and I hope that will reflect and impact that into your actions, into your college, into your home. And if you like my session today, make sure that you reach out to at least 10 people in your society, in your family, in your friend circle, and tell them about what you have learned today. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Abhinaji, for the wonderful session and very detailed session. And also, the videos were very quite amazing and descriptive in itself, that it enhanced the whole soul understanding about the vocabulary and also the provisions related for the welfare. So, thank you once again so much for that. And now the forum is open for question and answer sessions. So, if you would like to put up anything or any concern, or if you have any feedback for us or anything, then please you can unmute yourself and share, and you can also drop in the chat box. Also, by the department, the feedback form is dropped, the Google form, and it will be available only in the Meet. सो अभी ये जब तक मीट का लिंक है चल रहा है, तब तक ये चैट बॉक्स पे रहेगा. सो इफ़ यू फिल दैट फॉर्म, देन यू विल बी एबल टू एक्सेस द सर्टिफिकेट्स इशूड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट. So you can kindly fill that. And apart from that, coming back to, like, if you have any questions, any suggestions for us, please feel free to ask, raise queries. And also, how would you like the session? How was the experience? If someone wants to share anything, then the forum is open.
I think if you guys are silent, which means either you've liked it or you didn't like it, the session at all. But I hope there will be a lot of questions that might will not come to your mind immediately, but it will come later. So we have given you our email address also. And for general inquiries also, Mahima ji has given general inquiry number and an isdhelp@gmail.com email address. You can, if there are any questions that you cannot ask to us immediately, you can write to us and we will try to resolve them. Thank you. Mahima ji, Vishal ji, I need to drop out for another
Yeah,
meeting.
sure. Thank you so much, Abhina ji, for joining in. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Hello, I would like to add one point, ma'am.
Ji.
Actually, I'm Sheetal Dubey from Uday Social Development Society, and in collaboration with UNICEF, we are, imparting the training of police constable. And recently, we have included the SMILE scheme under the Child Protection Syllabus, chapter number 12. So it is very useful for us to detail out. I am just gaining the detailed information about the scheme. So it is very useful for us during the when we will conduct the next session for the police constable. So it is very useful for us. So thank you so much for such informative sessions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Also, we would like if you can just drop your number and organization's contact detail in the chat box also. So
Yeah,
that will be helpful for us. And if you, while conducting the training program also, if you want if you have any queries or
Yeah.
doubts, and if you want any other help
Yeah, I
regarding.
want also, some contact number from your side so I can,
Yeah.
some if I have query in future, so we can contact, with you.
Yes, yes. Sure, ma'am, you
Yeah.
can just drop your
Yeah,
contact
sure.
number here and I'll just ping you there.
You, sure.
Okay, ma'am. Guys, again, if anyone has any queries or anything to share.
Hello, I'm Arush. May I share something?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yes, sir.
So, firstly, thank you for an amazing session. And just like the video said, I think many of us, maybe not on purpose, but accidentally do, abuse quite a lot of people who maybe trans, who may show any of those characteristics. And even after this session, I still feel that, many of us would still be ignorant, even though we are trying to learn. So I personally think that the Tweet organization, all of you BSSS and all of your organizations are doing a very good job, and I just think it's a very utopian suggestion. But I think in general, if at the very high school level we are able to have these kind of sessions, then I think they can really improve and expound on the knowledge and understanding of us as students, like young children. So from the very start, we will be able to understand these topics, etc. Because I personally also like started understanding like these topics, etc. When I met such people like in my early 20s or like late like 18s or something. So just that very good job, and hopefully you can take this forward at schools also. So that would be very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so good to hear from you. And yeah, we think that it's very important, and also as citizens, it's also our duty to as we respect every gender, male and female. So transgenders are uh, nobody deserve discrimination just on the basis of gender. And similarly, the programs have shifted online, but as a part of a regular activity, so NISD keep on conducting such training programs on different issues. And on one such issues, the area of concern is Transgender Person Protection of Right Act and rules, and it also covers the welfare mechanisms of Smile scheme. So I would also request you all that if you haven't gone through the about haven't heard about the Smile scheme yet, so you can just browse it. It's a very brief document. You can just go through it and you can read about the components that are being designed, like educational, health, and the helpline number, ID card portals, so that in that way you yourself can get educated, and you can also help as an ally. You can help the trans person in accessing all these facilities that has been designed for them in order to make them accessible. So yes,
Thank you.
thank you. So once again, I want to emphasize that the link of regarding the certificates and the form has been dropped in the chat box. So those who haven't accessed it yet can click on that link and please fill that form if that's possible. So once again, in the end, on behalf of NISD and our entire team, I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of this meeting. Thank you for your time. And again, I want to thank the Department for Social Work for organizing this program, and for the students who have joined us in this program, and for all the stakeholders from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh who have joined us for this program. Thank you everyone for your time. And we have dropped our email and helpline number. It's functional from Monday to Friday, 14427, and email is nisdtghelp@gmail.com. So if you have any queries, any concerns, please reach out to us. Thank you so much, Richie ma'am, Ritvik sir, Shiba ma'am, and everyone who has been enrolled in making this event a huge success.
Emma, if you want to take a photograph, you can take. In
Yes, sir,
case you
sure.
want.
So we have taken some of the screenshots also, so we can also share with you.
And the yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.